Mr. Robi Lal, Airport Planner and Operations Advisor, currently at ICT Private Limited. Mr. Lal has a wide range of aviation sector related experience and academic background. He was responsible for planning and operating a major network of airports at ATC Systems and served on the board of directors for AAI, Airports Authority India. He has been planning ahead to serve the demands of the industry for over 5 decades now. During the period, he was a team member designing the first terminal to serve B747s in the world and in India. Undertaken airport site selections, he has worked as an airport engineering and planning consultant for airport facilities in India and abroad. Today, Mr. Lal is going to talk about airports of the future, challenging planning. So let's welcome Mr. Robi Lal.
Thank you, Jan. I intend to deal with 3 areas, the aesthetics, the technology, and also finally the planning process. And I'll do this quite quickly. The aesthetics, I gave the example of Bhairava. And interestingly enough, the aesthetics seems to be changing from the exteriors and to coming into the interiors. Bangalore itself is a wonderful example. It was a place where in the existing Terminal 1, there's this wide sweeping roof, etc. Even with the expansion, they've managed to maintain that. But in the Terminal 2, in the exterior, especially if you take a look from the air side on the North Pier and the East Pier, they are comparatively simple, not that dramatic. But the aesthetics that has changed in Bangalore and is really the access road. The access road, even to Terminal 1, was always beautifully gardened and green. The access road, which is under construction, it's the main access road which will come into the MAR into this thing, has these huge, it's sunk about 6 meters below the surface level, and we'll have a train line running, subway line running in the middle, but it has greenery on the sides. At the moment, they're consolidating that place, they're building it up. So that is really quite an example of gardening and the greenery that comes in. And as Mr. Desai pointed out, and I think Evan pointed out a little earlier, the interiors, and we saw some of those drawings a few days ago, what they call the bells and veils concept is absolutely gorgeous. I haven't seen anything like this at any of the other airports, and I've traveled quite a bit in the last 55 years. So that is really interesting. And between the main terminal and the fingers where you board the aircraft from, they are getting a beautiful green garden, trees, etc. I first saw that in Honolulu in the 60s. And this has taken it more than just a step. It's taken many steps further for planting trees, building it up, doing absolutely lovely things. So that's one. The second thing about aesthetics is also the interiors. Apart from what we are doing all along, there's going to be a requirement that you bring in local material. A lot of it, as luck could have it, you have to plan well ahead because you've got to use if you want to use local material. And one of the beautiful terminals with lots of woodwork is actually Oslo in Norway. It has absolutely gorgeous woodwork, and you realize when you get to Norway that woodwork is a major issue. Similarly, at Mactan Cebu, done by GMR in the Philippines. Others tend to depend upon sculpture, etc., like Vancouver with this huge, one of the world's largest bronze sculptures of a bull in Vancouver is really quite interesting. Even Bangalore itself, in its existing place with the artworks in the first floor of the terminal is beautiful. At one time, they even had live music there. I don't know if they have it now. I didn't get to hear any of it yesterday. But anyways, I was there yesterday. But some of these things on interiors and aesthetics becomes very interesting. The second thing that's coming up, and this is becoming interesting, and I think Azrael Jafar most probably is dealing with it, is the efficiency, energy efficiency. And the energy efficiency is one, of course, as you get into technologies of switching on, switching off, etc. And an architect's job is to integrate all the new technologies coming into the building. Bangalore is one of the leading agencies for building in new technologies into new terminals, but there's going to be a lot more as we go forward. And also the context is going to be retrofit into existing terminals. And then that's where the AOCC, the Airport Operators Control Room, and the Airport Operations Control Room and the Airport Operations Database is going to work. And the information technology is widespread. And for an architect, it has come, and I started originally as an architect, it has come as a bit of surprise. The integration requirements of being an architect is to take different technologies and their requirements and limitations within which one works and fit it into a design. It's no longer that I can turn around and say, this is what I want, this is the way I'm going to design it, this is the process we are going to do it. All of that has to be adjusted to new technologies, whether it's going to be fiber optic cable, whether it's going to be wireless, etc. All of that comes in for airport operations, for airlines, for customs, for immigration, for etc. But the other issue that is going to question of how to change capacity analysis. We've been doing that technically using the IATA ADRM, and for a few years I was director of IATA for South Asia, India, Nepal, Burma, Bangladesh, etc. And getting that ADRM into capacity studies, you have to now start looking at local conditions where efficiency is not just getting the maximum number of people through a given place in a given length of time. It's being, the parameters are going to change by spacing them apart, by maintaining distances, which is not happening now. We talk about it, we put things, please maintain 4 feet distance, etc. But it does not happen. I don't know about other countries, but Indians tend to jostle each other whether you like it or not. So that's going to happen. And if you're going to travel by bus from the terminal to the aircraft, then it's even a bigger problem. And in the longer run, in the process itself, we in India are in a variety of levels. There are companies which are using BIM systems and doing it very well. There are companies which are somewhat using it, level 1, that's CAD, and maybe level 2 to an extent. But as we go into the construction part of it, we are finding, and I heard this very much so in Bangalore just 3 days ago, they're finding Larsen and Toubro might use BIM for themselves, but the contractors, their subcontractors and their sub-suppliers very often don't use any BIM, and therefore adjusting details and approving drawings is becoming a difficult issue. So that's another area. Finally, on a planning process, I think you mentioned the space requirements are outside. Well, let's face it, I was involved in selecting the site for Bangalore in 1991-92, and there seemed to be a lot of space around it. But today with the Hyderabad highway coming through, the rail lines growing, housing coming up also, urban areas do it. Canada has a very interesting situation that the moment they notify an area for a airport, they also notify the areas around it for what can be built and what cannot be built, so that if required, they can go in to acquire it. Bangalore, if they can't go to the south side for the simple reason that Yelahanka is right next. But if they have to go to the north side, there will be problems. Similarly, Bombay, somebody compared it to Bombay. Well, that terminal came up in the 1940s. So difficult to expand that and develop it. But NMIA, the new Mumbai International Airport, is going to have limitations also as time goes by. I think I did a selection study for Navi Mumbai in the 70s, but I think they should look at the possibility of setting aside large amounts of land there. We are going to get new airports. Kolkata is going to require one. Chennai is going to require another one. Some other airports as well. Delhi is getting Jewar, others also. So it's going to be a demanding thing. There has to be a concept of master planning on a national level of getting the airlines, the airport operators, the AC authority, air control, ANS, and state governments involved. Thank you.